Hello, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Donna.
We're here sharing what we've learned as women, entrepreneurs, and moms.
All while rocking our curves with confidence.
It's a behind-the-scenes look at our lives and businesses.
And a chance to tell our younger selves, go do the things that scare you. So how do you go from real estate mom life to brag about it?
I just made the decision to stop real estate. And that was probably one of the hardest decisions I've ever made. It took me...
It broke my heart.
I know. I know. And I still say to this day, I remember you saying, are you sure you don't want to keep your license? Are you sure you don't want to keep your license? Even just for me? And I was like, oh, I would love to. And you know what? I decided in the January of, I don't even know, I'm going to say 2008 or 9, something like that.
Shortly after we bought that.
So yeah, the big
first
reno. And I remember, it must have been 2008.
Yes.
Because Paul worked at Ford at that time and they were offering a buyout. And Paul was like, well, I want to leave. And I was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I'm going to start my business. And I was like, really? And I was like, okay, do it. Like, go ahead and do it. Like, I think it's a great time. And I go, maybe it's the same time that I take a step back in real estate. And that decision, I think he made fall of 2008. So maybe beginning of 2009, I left. And it took me about 7 or 8 months to park my license. It took me a long time. I was working with clients.
Well, it's expensive to hold the license.
Yeah.
If you're not working.
Yeah. Very expensive. People think, oh yeah, you're a realtor, you make all this money, or yeah, no problem at all. It doesn't cost anything. It costs hundreds of dollars a month to hold your real estate license and be members of boards and a member of a brokerage. And every brokerage is different, but I've never wavered from who I've worked for. They gave me one of my first jobs in 1997. I've been in real estate since 1997. I was a receptionist and licensed. And anyway, so I remember making the decision, and I told my broker in January, and then we were like February, and I was showing homes, and then we're like March and April, May. And I remember Nathan was turning 6 then, 2009. And he came down the stairs in the morning. And he was like, Mommy, what are we doing today? It's his birthday. And I knew it was his birthday, but I knew I was also heading out to show homes. And I was like, I know what I'm doing today. And he's like, well, what are we going to do? And I was like, you know what, Nathan, whatever you want to do. And it literally, I picked up the phone, I called my broker, and I said, listen, today's my last day. And I called my client and I said, listen, something's come up. I have to be with my kid today. It's his birthday. I can refer you to someone else to continue the business, or we can just go another time. He's like, no, we'll just go another time. And I said, I will have time eventually. I said, but I just don't know when I will have that time, because I'm also making the decision to leave real estate at the moment. He was like, no problem. Crazy enough, that young gentleman has still never bought a home, which is crazy. I just found out. So it was so heartbreaking to leave, because I love... It's
your passion.
Yeah, it is. And coming back, people ask, what does it feel like? I said, it feels like being home.
I remember that day. I remember the day we went for breakfast.
Yeah.
We're at the Kerr Street Cafe, and we're sitting there. And you said... I've been thinking, and I said, like, you didn't even finish your sentence.
Yeah,
like,
you knew.
Yes,
you knew.
need to do it.
But you were the only person that I ever told. You're the only person I ever told. And I didn't tell anybody else except for, like, Paul. We talked about it. And then maybe my parents. But you were the only friend I told about. And I said, you know what? You're the only person that needs to know.
But as moms, like... And I think that's probably one of my Nucking Futz moments growing up, was kind of like, there's always the push to go to school. Yep. Then you go to school, you get your stuff, and then you become a wife, and then you have kids, and then it's like, okay, you follow the guy and give it up.
Yep.
And I'm like,
what the fuck? Yeah, literally, what the fuck?
It's a mind game.
It is.
Right? And of course you're going to go with the bigger salary. You're going to go, right? Like, it's never, again, it's never just a, you do this, because we know how that would go.
Yeah.
But you go in and out of chapters of your life.
That's what you said to me. You're like, Melissa, this is just another chapter of your story. And I'm like, well, I wish I. And you're like, don't ever say that. because that was a chapter. That chapter led to the next chapter, which led to this chapter.
Yeah.
So you know what? I really respect that. And I always think that. Even when I talk to my kids now, I say that. And I'm like, well, you know, Donna told me this.
And, I mean, it's just that one of those things you learn as you go. So telling my younger self, hey, don't get all hung up on it. This isn't forever.
Yes, right. 100%. I agree with that. And I think you don't you're right. Because
you are not going to be a triathlete forever, Donna.
Not me one time be that. I would never even go into that career. But I think, I don't know, maybe in my house growing up, my family was like, you get the job, you work your way up in a company.
Yeah.
And it's like, I remember when I left my job in HR and I told my parents I was going into real estate, and they were like, that's crazy. Why would you do that? Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, oh, don't worry. And, you know, tooting my own horn here, I was pretty successful young.
You were very successful.
You know, and I didn't realize that until I looked back recently. And when I came back to the business, I'm like, asked Roy LePage, that's who I work for. I'm like, would you be able to give me a list of all my deals that I ever did? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they sent it to me, and I had like 100 deals. And I was like, oh, that's why I was never home. I get it now. But in the moment, it was not enough.
You're so passionate about it.
I love it. Thank you.
You do.
I still love it. And even not being in it, when I wasn't in it for the 10 years or whatever it was, I don't even know, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years, I still was in it. Like, I still looked at the market. I still watched real estate. I still looked at homes. Yeah, all the time about real estate. Like, I bought my own home. I renovated my own home. Yeah. That's what Paul does. Like, you know, so we were in it, but to leave it was so hard. And I remember when I got off the phone that day from like telling my broker I'm not doing it, I cried. And then I was like, okay, get yourself ready. Go take Nathan out and do what he wants to do. And I think the deciding factor was the amount of times my kids said to me, Mom, why are you not giving me a bath? Or Mom, why did you not come to soccer? Or Mom, why are you not home to read the stories like you know, there, you know, ebbs and flows of real estate. They get busy, get slow. And in that moment, it was a slower time. And I think it was easier to make that transition because it was 2008, 2009, similar to market we have now. Yeah. So it was easier to make that transition. Because if it was like height of the market, I probably wouldn't have made that transition. And that's just being honest. Yeah. I loved real estate. I love the nonstop of it. I love the hustle. Yeah. I like the deals. I like the clients. Move it. I do. I liked it all. I love it all. I still love it all. So for me, yeah, it was hard. And then what do I do? Like, what do I do? And at that time I had been creating like bracelets with like silver beads and names. And my mom's like, what is this online business stuff? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I found this like little marketplace. At that time, Etsy had only been around for 2 or 3 years. And I put a couple pieces on and I sold it. And then going through Etsy, because they didn't only sell handmade items, they sold supplies, right? And I saw this stamping kit. I think it was $179. And at that time, it was hard. Like financially, it was very, very hard for us. And I'm like, I don't have an extra $200 to just go buy something.
You don't.
But my heart told me, do this. This is what you need to do. It's like when you said to me, you want to do a podcast? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Because my heart spoke to me and it was like, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. It's like coming back to real estate. That's what you need to do. So for me, I do kind of go with my heart with a lot of things, but I bought this little kit, came in and I started stamping, put my first pieces up May of 2009. And like, that was it.
But you're home with the kids, right? Like you're running around, you can stop and do laundry, you can feed them, you can play with them, all that.
Real estate, you couldn't.
Right.
We couldn't.
And those are the decisions that we go through, right? But it works. Like I found accounting because I was still working on my CPA when I moved here. So I had a little bit to finish. I remember finally getting there, saying to Sean, not sure this is what I want to do. Yeah. And he's like, good thing you didn't think you wanted to be a doctor. But anyways, I have my degree. I've, been a part of it, and it has always been a part of what I do. It's been afforded me many different facets.
Even answering my crazy tax questions.
Well, and right, like through so many different parts of it. So do I regret it? Never, ever, ever. But so I was looking for accounting work that I could do part-time so I could fit it in when the kids were at school. You know, often I would take the kids to wherever I was at. There was a hair salon in downtown Oakville that my kids grew up playing Nanda because Nanda was the hairdresser, and they would go and cut each other's hair, which was not a good thing to find them in the tub doing. But, well, we're playing Nanda. I'm like, no, we're not.
Why not?
You know, but they grew up at the hair salon because I would go in to get the books and we'd chat and, you know, they cut their hair. And so that was like 25 years that I did that with them.
So you accountant?
So I did accounting.
Like real estate?
Yep. I did the real estate. And that was like, because we lived in those homes.
Yeah.
We weren't flipping homes. We lived in those homes for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
I did day trading as well in there.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
We had some good years of day trading. Yes. And that was something Sean got me into.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what a bear market was, what a bull market was.
I don't know what it is. Don't worry.
And he's like, you can do this. And so I did. I think it was 2 years.
Yeah.
That I, you know, and that's a concentrated, you're there during the day, all day. So the kids were older. And I was a huge part of the kids' life at school.
You were.
Like when my son went to high school.
I always used to say, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could do that. Like, and I never actively did it. You know, I did a lot of the after school stuff. Not that I couldn't do it. I just didn't. But I remember you always at the school, always with the kids. Like,
being part of the reading club, being part of the Christmas stuff. I was on the PTA. I was always in for craft days and field trips and stuff like that. I loved it. I remember Carter going to high school. He goes, Mom, I don't want to see you at my school.
Why not?
I'm like, okay. And I remember when Bailey was there, she was in band, and the band teacher asked me if I would go on a trip. And I was like, have you asked Bailey? I need to get kid approval first. She was like, yeah, Mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of course.
And then, so how did She's Got Legs come about?
So She's Got Legs, that was funny because I found a pair of leggings on a Facebook ad. They were skull leggings. I still have them.
Oh.
Yep. And they're packed in a box right now because we're in between houses. So that's kind of like where those are. But so I was in buying as a customer, and then I was in buying more and more. And they're like, you should sell for us. And I'm like, I'm an accountant. I don't do sales. Like, that's not my thing. I don't know anything about it. Blah, 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 blah. Then Carter was off to university. So, you know, 18 he is at this point. And I thought, hey, why not? So I tried it. And that was January of 2018.
Oh.
And I loved it. My sister had my first party. It was down in Windsor. So I brought a whole bunch of stuff down there. And it was people I had worked with down there. And it was such a fun night. Because it's kind of like playing dress up, but with leggings.
I've been to, I think, one of your
comfy clothes. Yeah, you've been at a few of my events, right? So, and that's the great thing about us is
I remember it was
always
so
there
like,
to support. Yeah,
so much.
And then I had a great year. Like I did so many parties and events, and I just loved it. But I got to the end of the year. I won. That was funny. I won some awards. I won top new stylist. I won,
of course,
top
why not?
Stylist, and I won top partier. And I phoned my mom and I said, Mom, all those years that you worried about me partying in school, it paid off. I just won an award. So that was kind of funny. But I got to the end of the year and I was like, I love what this does for women. It gives them an opportunity to do something for themselves that fits in with their lifestyle. If it's an extra $100 a month, extra $200 a month, that can be life-changing, right?
It is. Yeah.
Like it bought you the jewelry set.
Yep.
So I approached the two owners and I had accounting that I would bring to the table and they didn't have accounting. So I ended up being a partner in May of 2019. And I remember specifically saying to my daughter, I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Really?
I felt like it was finally
exactly where you should
my
be.
time, my thing, where I fit in.
Can I ask how the kids were then? You said 2019?
So, yeah. So Bailey would have been 19 and Carter would have been 21 that year because Bailey's born in 2000. So it's easy for me to do the math.
Yeah.
On that. So I was 50. I turned 50 that year.
Wow. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah. And right, like that's the thing.
Any age.
Any age.
Doesn't matter.
And sometimes you go through all the little things not really knowing where you fit and then it clicks. And it's finding the things that don't fit sometimes and then getting to the ones that, and I loved it. Like I loved, so about at one partner in 2020, about at the other partner in 2021. And so it's a solo. We are over 1,200, almost 1,300
That's
stylists
amazing.
across Canada that are in our program. And I love, like we've gone from just leggings to all kinds of
I know.
leisure wear that, so yeah,
Pretty.
I love the journey.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about it. Very passionate about
You should be.
creating
You
a positive environment,
Yeah.
powered by women, and
Yeah.
kicking butt out there in the world.
I know. International Women's Day was pretty fun.
Yes, it was our line dance party.
We had that was pretty awesome. I was able to
Yeah.
come with two fellow people from the hockey team, and we had a blast. It was great. You know, I think that too. You ask yourself, what would you tell your younger self, right? In that situation, it is not linear,
It's not.
and those ups and downs in that like are gonna get you to where you need to be. And like you just do it. Like who cares? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, who cares? You got to find
It's
it.
kind of like walking through a whimsical forest, and your path is like meandering, right? And you're looking all around, and you're absorbing this, and you're absorbing this, and you're like, you know, what resonates with me? Sometimes there's scary chapters or
Yeah.
dark parts, but then there's like, you know, where you,
Do you ever sit back and look at it all and be like, holy shit, I did this all?
yeah. Like if you just said to me at 19 that this
Yeah.
is where we would be sitting
Yeah.
here doing this, having done the houses that we did, having done, you know, been such a part of the kids' lives and all those things,
Yeah.
like the incredible friendships. Like there's so many mom groups.
Right.
We still have a high school group of girls
Oh,
that we
that's
get
awesome.
together once a
Yeah,
year,
I
and
love
it's
it.
like so soul filling.
Yeah.
Like there's so many friendships that you collect in that journey. It's like a video game.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I didn't realize it until I actually had to write about myself when I was doing my brand video for real estate, coming
Yes.
back. And it was like, I had this like survey or this questionnaire to fill out, and I was answering it, and I was like, holy shit, I've done a lot of things. Why am I not proud of that? Why can't I be proud of that? Like, what are, I just, it blew my mind to think of everything I've done and not be like, what are you
still
so
here, right?
small?
Like, yeah.
Why are you still so small? Like, why are you not shutting to the world? I do this and I've done this and I've done that. And, you know, leaving real estate felt like a failure to me. In a weird way, it felt like a failure.
does.
I felt I was powerful. I felt I had this
Leaving
sense of
cost accounting.
like it was this sense of accomplishment that I had, and then I left, and I was like, oh, now you're
Because
just
there's
making
that narrative
jewelry.
that you're just a mom, or
Yeah.
you're just right, like you're just work from home.
What
or-
the heck, man?
Yeah.
Like, and I remember that, and then when I wrote that stuff out, I was like, holy moly!
Yeah. You think
And then
of how many people's lives you touched with
Yeah.
that jewelry business. Even still,
still
you're still going.
still a little bit on hold right now, but I'm still creating. I'm working on my
Yeah.
new line, so I don't mind, but I want to work on that line so that I can be all me, right? Not just listen, I was in many stores before. Like I was in 8 stores, and I pulled all my stuff from those stores because I felt like I was a
Well,
manufacturer.
you've been on TV shows.
Yeah.
You've been in the awards.
Law and
gifts.
Order, Frankie and Grace, or Grace and Frankie. Oh my God, it's embarrassing. I don't remember. Ozark, Young and Restless.
How many awards were you at? Like,
CMA, the Country Music Awards. I did the Golden Globes, and most recently the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee ceremony I did jewelry for. I get asked all the time to do jewelry. I'm part of this group called the Artisan Group. It's an amazing collective group of artisans, and it's very expensive to get into those things, right? So you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars to be at an award show. Instead, we collectively show. So it's a great opportunity to have your product seen. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'm allowed to actually use the logo, which is pretty cool.
That is so cool.
I'm like, sign me up for that. I'm there for
Yeah.
that. It was the inductee ceremony for Lenny Kravitz, which is really cool. I love Lenny Kravitz.
That's
Cher was
cool.
there. There was a lot of people there, which was really nice. Do I ever know when my jewelry is on TV? No. Do I know these people wear it? No. But I love the opportunity that I had to present and be a part of it. So I like that aspect of it. But I did really feel like a failure when I left real estate. It was a hard decision. And then I felt like I just became really small. And I was just like, all I'm doing is making jewelry from my house. Meanwhile, it was $1 million business. Wasn't a small business, still not a small business, but it felt small. Like when you'd get together with some parents and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I make jewelry and do this. And it was almost like I was embarrassed to talk about it. And now I'll talk about it all day long because I think it's pretty awesome what I've done. And coming back into real estate feels great. And in between all that, my husband and I bought a hockey team. So that
which is not a small purchase.
No,
like, oh yeah, we own a hockey team.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, which is a really, I think it's really cool. And not that it's really cool, it's very special. It's a very special thing to do. And it just allowed me to combine all the people that I know from that part of my life with my boys.
Been a part of your life
huge
forever.
part forever, even since I was little.
It was never part because I was never getting my ass up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go sit on a freaking rink. No way.
No. And me, I'm like, no baseball. We're like, no baseball people here. What is this sport?
Evening is my time. Let's
That's
go.
Right. Yeah. So, and that, and then you look at all those things. Like when I was at that event this week, someone says, what do you do? And I was like, serial entrepreneur? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, what do I tell you? Yeah. Like, I realtor, I own a jewelry company, I own a hockey team. And now.
Do your kids tell you have ADHD?
No, but I probably do.
My kids tell me all the time. I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's my superpower.
Yeah.
Like, I can be that bouncing ball that bounces off the walls and goes like 9,000 things at once. And,
yes, you can.
And then you're like singing a song and writing a book and, whatever you're doing all at the same time.
I couldn't do nothing, though. I think that's the thing. Like, I don't think but trust me, there's days I can sit. There's days I can sit and I can eat the candy. Yeah, I can do that 100%. But even when people ask me, are you ever going to retire? I'm like,
yeah.
What's retirement? Like, I don't know. Does that mean do nothing? Because if I'm doing nothing, then I'm traveling. Like, I want to travel. Like, to me, that's the retirement part. It's not that I want to travel all the time. I want to have like months of travel and then work and then months of travel and then work. Like, I don't ever see me retiring.
I could see you owning properties like in Italy and
it'd be nice.
Vienna,
California. We'd love to go to California. We love California. I love California. I know, but it's a big thing for me. It's a place of peace. We go and it's like being home, but being away in a tropical island. It's really nice, but it's probably like Florida for you.
Right, it's Florida.
Yeah, right. Like,
I mean, I love to travel.
Yeah.
And see different parts of the world. I think it helps you open your eyes to,
for sure,
different ways of doing things. Different.
Yeah, it does.
Cultures, different. I love architecture, so bring me to any place that's historic, and
I'm the same as you.
I will take 1,000 photos of doors and bricks and
31,000 photos isn't enough in your photo. What? I don't have 31,000 photos in my photo reel, whatever it's called, my little photo book there on my phone. But no, I don't ever see retirement for me. I just think the things that we've done enrich us, and the things we continue to do make life better. And I hope that as I continue to grow and continue to do things, that everyone's still there. Like, my kids are with me. My kids see it. Like, I look at them and I'm like, they ask me, Mom, what should I do? And I'm like, you're asking the wrong person here, because I went to school for something that I do not do. Like, and I said,
and most people do,
no.
Right? Like, I mean, doctors, okay, they're lawyers, they're kind of the exception. Most accountants, usually the exception, right? But, and I think kids going up, when they're picking, my son knew from the time he was 3 that he wanted to be in business. He's known forever. Yeah. My daughter, no, she struggled with what to do. She's very artistic. She's very language. She's very math. She's got all the parts of the brain working at the same time.
That's where you're awesome as a mother. Like, I said that before. Like, I looked at you like, you're like,
selling it way hard. You should sit with my kids for an hour and let them tell you.
No, but like, there's so many parents that are like, well, this is what I want my kid to be, or this is what I want my kid to do, and they have to go to university, or they have to go to college, or they have to do something. But you've always let your kids be themselves.
I remember being at the grocery store, standing in line, and the music teacher came up. Mr. Vincent came up to me, and my daughter struggled in high school with mental health. So that was a journey. My son was the partier. My daughter was a different journey, right? So, and 2 different kids, it's always different journeys. Yeah. They're different. So I will say it was much harder than having the partier kid. And the partier kid was very difficult. But the mental health is very, because
I don't remember that.
It's more of a struggle of how to help and being able to help, and it's a scary precipice to stand on the edge of. And I remember standing in line at the grocery store, and he came up to me, and band was a huge part of my daughter's health part of the journey.
Yeah, it was I remember that now. Yeah,
positive. I love that she was a drummer.
I didn't know she was a drummer.
Taught herself guitar as well. Like, music was a big part of her soul, finding its own way. And he said to me, he says, I love Bailey. I think she's such a great person. I just don't want her to feel like she has to go to university, because she was doing welding. She came home and she was using an arc welder or a plasma welder or plasma cutter or something. And like her eyes lit up and
for a teacher to say that.
Right. Like at the grocery store.
That's
and
huge.
I'm thinking, I hope she doesn't think that we expect her to go to university. So that night we had the big conversation like, hey, like there's no expectation here. You got to do, and with your journey, you don't know what it is. So you got to try things, and it's going to be, this doesn't fit, and this doesn't fit, and this doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And that's been part of her journey. And, she got like funny grade 12, like that was one of her biggest struggle years. So she self-taught at home because of the mental health stuff. And that was before COVID. Like that was like 3 or 4 years before COVID. And she got 90s.
Ahead of her time.
Right. She was, right? And that's her learning environment, is quiet self. And I think looking back, because as you go through the school system, it's different for every person. And you really got to listen to your kid and work with the school. And the school was great.
That is so hard, though, to be a parent in that aspect.
Yeah.
And that's where I say I admire you, and I really looked up to you, and I really respected what you said all the time, because, you compare. You always compare. You're like, I did, at least myself. I always, my kid's going to this university, and my kid's going to that university. And I'm like, my kid's just not doing that.
They're not ready.
Yeah.
Right?
And
they're so young.
I looked at you and you were like, Melissa, it's okay. And I was like, you know what, maybe it is okay. And you, like, is normal the word? I don't even know if it's the right word, but you made it seem normal. You made it seem okay. And it is okay. And realizing now, and I look at my son, my oldest, he was working in a field that he loved already, but the field wanted him to be educated or have his diploma or whatever you want to call it in it. And he was like, I don't like that. He went to school for a year and he's like, I can't stand it. He says, I don't like that part. He goes, I know what to do, but I don't like that part. He's like, can I leave? Sure, leave. He got a job. He's been working full time. And he's dabbled. Like, he's like, maybe I'll get my real estate license, or maybe I'll go into trade school, or maybe I'll do this. So last week he was given an opportunity to do a full apprenticeship to become a mechanic. And he has an opportunity to be a millwright. I think it's a regular mechanic or a diesel mechanic. So he started last week, and he came home from his first day. And he looked at me and he says, Mom, I go, what? He said, I feel like this is just the beginning of where I should be in life. And I was like, oh my gosh.
The best thing.
I was like, really? And I go, like 6 months before, he was really sad. Like, he's like, I need to talk to you. And we're very open. Like I said, we talk about everything. Yeah. He did go through mental health issues too. We had some tragedy in our family.
It, right? Like,
and
it's,
and he was just like, Mom, like,
I think that's a good thing about our generation. I mean, I'm an older generation than your generation by a decade, but I feel like we're on the same playing level, is that we are much more open and conversational about emotions and trauma
than our parents,
than our parents, right? Like, and I don't know if it's that we learn from them or that but social media, I think, has a huge play in that, because people just talk about it more. Yeah. And so you realize you're not alone.
No.
Right. And I think a lot of what we're doing here is, hey, it's a journey.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
You're not alone. And I think that having you, that's made me feel like that I'm not alone, that there are people, there are my people.
You are
my
people.
Yeah. And you
gotta
understand.
Find your people.
Yeah. And you do. It's important. That's very, very important.
Not everyone is your people.
No. And what would you ask your younger self? Same thing. Is that not everyone?
But the conversation I had with this 29-year-old last week was like, okay, no is a complete sentence. Yeah. And that takes a long time. I still think I'm learning that. Oh, yeah. I think it's every day I'm learning. When you walk away, you're thinking, shit, I wish I said no.
Yeah. And I think in the last 6 months I've been better about it. But I realized no more chasing, just creating the life that I want, how I want, in the timeline I want. Because when I was in real estate before, everything was a yes. Not that it's not a yes now. It's just a yes with a different timeline. And it's a yes with it's okay that this happens, and it's okay that we do it a little bit slower. It doesn't have to be like,
and you take time for shutdown.
Yeah.
Which is important.
It's a great thing. I think you should be able to tell yourself today that I wish I would have told myself a long time ago, because no is a hard word to learn.
It is.
And I think I'm able to articulate that to my children. I wish I just could articulate that to myself
now,
properly.
I will say, when my daughter was young, she was a feisty little beast. She was, I tell her all the time, the fact that you lived to see 4 was like your luckiest move, because you were such a little tyrant. But when you have a little girl, you want her to be feisty. You do not want her to be afraid to stand up to anyone or anything and say, hey, this is not okay. And I remember her being down at girlfriend's house. They were in a tent in, I don't know if it was in the house or in the yard, and they were playing, and the 2 girls would not let her in the tent. And I'm like, oh. So she got up and she walked home.
Good for her.
And I'm like, I love you. Like, I think that is incredible.
I think
to have that self-awareness about you, like, I don't need to stay.
Yeah.
Fine, don't let me in.
Because a lot of people don't have that today.
No.
I don't have that. I never had that. It's like something that I've learned slowly and still learning.
Yeah. The confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that comes from.
And I think being with those people, and it's a learned thing. It's some people are born with it, definitely, but other people, it's a learned thing.
Yeah. Well, I try to tell my boys, like, we talk about a lot of things, but we, have the conversations with us, be open with us. It's okay to feel, it's okay to be a certain way.
Boy lessons are different than girl lessons, and you hate to gender it. Yeah. But,
everything is so out there for them. And it's so, like, I just think of what we used to see versus what they see, and how numb they've become to certain things. But even like feelings and like people saying things about their feelings, but I'm like, it's okay to talk about them. It's okay to come home and have conversations. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be happy. But I've also told them a lot of things, like, you have to be smart in this world. You have to be very, very smart.
You have to work hard. You have to be focused.
And just be the type of person that you'd want your daughter to date.
Yes.
You sent me that TikTok, and I was like, I think I listened to it still. And there's like 5 things you would ask yourself in a relationship. And the last thing is, would you want your child to date this person? Right. And you're like,
healthy relationships, right? Like, we didn't grow up learning about healthy relationships.
Well, we didn't grow up learning about much of anything, to be honest with you.
I think we all would have been, well, you made a good choice, but I sure would have made better choices earlier on. That's why when I got to Sean, I was like, oh yeah, wait, I got my list. No.
Check.
If you're okay with this list, then you're okay. You can be let in.
No, it's hard. It's hard to be a parent.
Because you need those healthy relationships to get you through to the end, right?
Where I think that not being with my children when they were younger, I was very fortunate that Paul took maternity or paternity leave for both of them. And he, in-laws were great. My in-laws are lifesavers. They took the kids every single day. And then making the decision in like 2008, 2009, whatever that was, to stay home and be more at home, not necessarily stay home, but to be more at home and work from home, and be with them as they got older has been wonderful, because it's created a different type of relationship.
Right. It's very much teamwork.
Yeah.
And the relationship with dad and relationship with mom are different.
Very different.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
No. It's funny, though, because I look back and, like, I used to do crafts all the time.
Same with
me.
me.
I love crafts.
I'm the crafty.
Those little buggers don't remember all the crafts we did.
No.
I'm like, all that freaking time I invested in all those things. But there are some key memories. Like, Sean would stay home. Like, if I had a big work week, he would stay home one day, and then they would go on bike adventures. So they would pack a lunch.
That's awesome.
And because Oakville has all these bike trails, and they would go, and then he would let the kids decide if they're going left or right.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
I know, right? Like, what a great, I would never ever do that.
Be like, stay on the side of the walk, go this way.
My adventure was walking around the block in the dark with flashlights waiting for dad to come home.
Okay, but you had some pretty epic Halloween parties. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yes.
Those were epic. Like, to have a parent that had those Halloween parties and had everyone involved from adults to children was pretty awesome.
I love Halloween.
I know you do. It's right around the corner.
I know.
How exciting is that?
Spaghetti.
Oh my gosh.
The hands, the tactile. We did pumpkin search in the woods and with the kids.
So many things.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part, I think, about having kids, is you get to do all that stuff. And I don't think parenting is one way or it should be this way or that way. I think it's just what works for you. And that's what I tell, like, my brother and my sister-in-law have a little one. He's going to be 3, but I tell them, you just have to remember what I was told, what works for your family is best.
Yes.
Right? Like, if you're like, you know,
there's not one way. There's
no.
not a right or a wrong.
No.
There's you got to figure it out for you. Everybody, I read something recently. It was the Let Them book by Mel.
Never read it.
And it takes a lot for me because I am not a person to let them. If you're talking trash to someone, I'm not going to let you.
No.
If you're being an idiot, I'm not going to let you. But when you read the book, I will say I'm only halfway through the book. I read the first 10 chapters. I didn't read them. I listened to them while driving, which is a great way to do it. But it isn't just about letting someone do it. It's about knowing that you can't control that person.
Yeah.
And you're not going to change them. You're not going to fix them. So you're going to let them go do that. And your reaction to what they're doing is on you.
Oh, yeah.
So let them and then let me. So that's part of her teaching, right? It is interesting. And, you know, and there's a lot. And she, you know, she goes into, okay, if it's a safety issue, you know, like you're not just going to, right? So but the one thing that she said that really struck, a couple of things. She talked about emotion, like the way children behave. So she talks about having the emotional reaction of like a 3-year-old to situations. And I'm like,
yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, totally. Right. Like I'm
still do that sometimes.
I know. That's what she said. She goes, but you know, we were never taught how to control our emotions and how to, where I think of Sean and I'm like, he's definitely the adult in our relationship. Yes. And I am the 3-year-old when it comes to reacting to situations, right? Like it is. And I'm like, holy Hannah. But then she also talked about the lens, your perspective lens, and the lens that you see life through. You and I are looking at the same thing, but your experience and my experiences so far give us a different lens to look through. And I'm like, okay.
That's interesting.
Right? Like I've had some trauma in my life that lives deep down in there, that rears its head every now and again. And that changes my perspective of certain movies, of certain news articles, of certain things, you know, and with that, a person who has not been through that doesn't have that same reaction. And it's just an internal reaction. Yeah. It's not something I can control. It just happens. And it makes you feel like you're losing your mind. It makes you feel like you're like out of this world. But, you know, everybody looks at it differently.
For sure.
Because of what they've been through. And that's why there is no right or wrong.
Like, why doesn't it just have a book of life? Like,
yeah. And I don't think.
Like, why isn't there all these things written down somewhere? You know what I mean? Like, why do we have to learn them? Like, you know, like, because that makes sense, right?
It does.
But when you're younger, you just don't see that. You don't understand that.
You don't.
It's like, why do we have to be midlife to understand that stuff or start to understand that stuff, right? But,
so younger self, are you listening?
Yeah, no kidding. What would you tell your younger self? That you're going to have things that shape you and make you look at things differently. And that's very true. It's very, very true. You know, so
but it's not always like bad, right?
No. But even you saying right now, like Sean, you're like, yeah, Sean is that person in the relationship. And I always thought I was the person in the relationship with like that, but I don't think I am. I think Paul's that person too. I think he's that person. Like he's the one that's like, okay, even with the kids, he's a lot calmer than me. Like he's so much more calmer than me. Like,
and then you wonder, okay, is this hormonal? Yeah. Right? Because we have changes that happen to us all because of hormone stuff.
For sure. Thank you for joining us today at the Nucking Futz podcast.
If you like this podcast, please share by liking and subscribing. Feel free to leave any comments and reach us at hello@thenuckingfutz.com.
Just a reminder, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. If you are struggling, know that you are not alone. Please reach out for professional help.
You can join our newsletter at thenuckingfutz.com to follow our journey. Looking for Donna at work? You can find her great leggings and leisure wear as well at She's Got Legs.
Looking for me, Melissa Hull? You can reach me at Brag About It Jewelry or I am Melissa Hull for real estate.